Hey guys, just a quick thing before I start my reading. I have hurt my thumb like big time. No, not big time, but I'm sorry. So I'm gonna have trouble shuffling my cards. But I've cut myself, and I won't tell you how because it'll probably make you like heave a little bit. But just so you know, I'm sorry that it looks it's quite disastrous. I was trying to cut some vegetables and I was using a new device. I won't explain it to you because honestly, when I saw what I did, I nearly thought I had to go to the hospital, but I am a nurse, although maybe not for much longer. And I was like, okay, wrap her up and stop the bleeding. And I was a little bit concerned that it bled for quite a little bit because I had this new device and it was razor sharp. I mean, razor sharp, and it was just slicing anyway. That I know it makes you want to heave. It made me want to heave for a minute, and I've got a pretty strong stomach. But yeah, I don't like what I just did. But anyway, so disaster. Maybe that's the topic for today because. So firstly, let me introduce myself. My name is Krista, and I am Little Wren. I'm a divine channel. I generally look at elements. I don't really look too much into astrological signs when it comes to tarot. I find that I'm definitely more of a channel than anything else. The energy that I have had personally, on a personal note, a major, and I mean major, change in my life, and supposedly in a good way. And I say supposedly because it is everything that I wanted, has kind of almost come true, and it has sent me into the worst anxiety that I have ever had in my life, hands down. So I haven't done any readings for like a little while, and I do apologize for my 3 subscribers. I love you guys. I'm so grateful for you. But my energy has been whack, and I mean whack. Like that, we just had that 1010 portal, 10th of October, and I really didn't, sometimes there's still parts of my brain that are a little bit skeptical, even now, there's parts of my brain that when it comes to spirituality, it's like, I'm 100% a believer, okay? I wouldn't be here if I'm not. However, when something so outrageous happens, your brain on this 3D planet, on this physical earthly plane, struggles still to comprehend it. And I had been given kind of warnings about my job, and I had been advised by my spirit guides to resign about 2-3 weeks ago now. And I didn't, because in the physical plane, I was like, this doesn't quite make sense. And all of a sudden, I had this great blessing come through, and I mean a really fantastic blessing, where I have been given the ability to resign my job and now pursue other things. But I hadn't resigned when I was kind of advised to take this as a word of warning, my friends. It's so important to listen, but it is such a struggle because look, the reality of the spirit world, the 5D world, and the physical world are so profoundly different, and they are so hard to mesh together. But when spirit speaks, oh my God, oh my God, we have to listen. We have to listen. And despite how much I am going to sprout that again, whatever message I give to you guys is always meant for me too. And look, I'll be the first to admit, probably should have done when I was told. And I ended up resigning in a way, and it was funny because energetically, like I had planned, I was like, on the 3D plane, there's appropriate ways to go about doing this, and normally I've always done that the right way. And if I had done this 2 weeks ago, that's probably how it would have played out. However, because there was some things that I had a lot of uncertainty about, but spiritually I was guided to go and do these things, but I didn't because I was like, doesn't make sense in the 3D. And then all of a sudden this date came along and spirit went hard on me. And what I realized now was that there was a cycle, and related to that 10-10 portal, and I just wasn't, it's like I've been ready, but I wasn't ready. And I was told to be ready, and I was told what to do. And if I had done that, then my friends, I probably wouldn't have been in this kind of level of anxiety that I have experienced. And spirit really put that energy hard on me, and to the point that I was like, my mental health was being very much affected. Like I said, I was experiencing this anxiety, which I have never felt, not like this. I felt depression, I felt other things, you know, we all experience bad feelings, you know, that's part of being on this earth. But this level of anxiety was like nothing I've ever experienced. And for those of you out there, I'm a nurse, I'm an enrolled nurse, which is, no, that might be not so, that doesn't cover over to the USA and some countries. In the Commonwealth, it's its own role. But I'm a nurse, I've been nursing for 17 years. And 17 is a very important number for me. As you can see, it's little red 17, and this is my 17th year of nursing. And I've been wanting to get out of it actually for a long time. And this is not a reflection on those of you who might be nurses who watch this. If you love your job, then love it. But for a long time, I felt, although I was good at my job when I was there, but I had actually not a lot of interest in it. And I've always felt like I needed to go into a more creative, I needed to be in a different environment. And the environment has not been conducive to who I am as an individual and my makeup. And so being in that job has been not really living authentically. And I've been asking spirit to kind of help me get out of it for a long time. And all of a sudden it came through, and you would think that I would be dancing in the streets and celebrating, and I kind of did, but no, that's not what happened. I had a total meltdown. And it was, you know, the way I did it, it was interesting. My where I was working, and it's a first line work. I was working in an emergency department. For those of you who might be watching this from that, how are you doing? And I'm so sorry if I didn't get to say goodbye. But they were moving into a new department, and for ages I kept feeling like, I'm not sure if I'm supposed to be going in there. And you know, we've been pre-prepared for this for months, for probably over a year more, you know, that we're going into the new department. I resigned the day we were moving, move day, which is the worst possible timing. And it made me feel really awful. But at the same time, I could not go into work. It wasn't just like, you know, a little bit of a small feeling. It was the worst anxiety I have ever experienced in my life. And I was crying for 2 days straight before each shift. And I thought, okay, this is just a moment, but okay, we're coming to the end. You can plan this, you can do this correctly. And then the second day that I was supposed to go in for my shift on move day, I woke up in the morning and I was on night shift, and I was crying. I couldn't stop crying, sobbing, crying, and feeling this, like I said, this anxiety that overtook me. And I ended up calling up. I called up for sick, spoke to my manager, said, I can't do this, it's done. Which was for the poor work, my poor place of work, was just, it was really unfair. And if I had done this 2 weeks ago, it would have been not something that they would have necessarily appreciated still, but at least it would have given them time, and not doing it on the day. And anyway, I feel like I'm rambling. I feel like I need to get into this, but I really needed to, I feel like I needed to deliver that message. And because the energy for me, it's about cycles. Let me just get back on track. Karmic cycles. Cycles in spirituality is really important. It's exactly what the Wheel of Fortune is about. And it's also about the World card. It's about understanding there's a learning cycle, and cycles aren't necessarily, they can be month to month, they can be year to year, but they can be in a lot longer cycles than we estimate. For example, my job is 17. 17 is such an important number for me on so many levels, and at the moment it just keeps coming up and up and up, and I didn't even connect the dots about the 17 years of being in this job. But I was not meant to move. I was not meant to go to even into the shift that day. I was not meant to follow through on that cycle. And I have resigned from that position with no backup plan. But I had to do that. And what Spirit often kind of demands of us is that if we have a desire, if we're trying to manifest something, I'm sorry, that is a Christian thing that's coming through. The spirit world, I do want to say God, so I'm going to say God. God does demand that we remove often what isn't in our desire, so what isn't a part of our wish fulfillment, before we start moving into it. Now, common sense would say just make it a transition, but sometimes Spirit says you have to take that, you have to be the fool, and you have to take that leap of faith, and you need to trust us and we'll catch you. And there's so many ways that when Spirit decides that enough is enough, he comes in and he closes that door, whether you like it or not. And it is closed, and I mean slammed shut. Now, that's what I felt like it has just happened for me, and I'm still processing this energy. So today I kind of was feeling, it's been a couple of days since I've gone in for my shift. I won't be going anymore. I'm not going in for any shift anymore. And yet I've been a little bit, again, processing the energy of that, and it's been quite difficult. However, today I was feeling a bit confused about what I was meant to do, where I was meant to go, what am I going to do today? What am I going to do? And I've been listening to some tarot, and the energies are still so chaotic and crazy. And today I felt like I thought, okay, maybe I'm meant to do a reading. So I came down, sat here, and I had to just clear some energy. I have got selenite surrounding this. I've got quartz crystals surrounding this entire board here. I feel like there needs to be a protection and energy field of what the message is going to be today. So this is obviously probably going to be quite long, hence my very, very long ramble to start with, but it will always be related. Let this be a warning. Things happen when we don't follow through when Spirit says we're supposed to do them in very strange ways. It's dangerous. Let me tell you now, let me give you this very clear warning. It is dangerous to go against the spirit world, to go against where they're leading you. And we all fall short sometimes of following our intuition, our guidance, and what we're meant to do. And I am very heavily guided, and I am meant to live a life like this. So it's quite an unbalancing place to be, because we want to feel more grounded. But when Spirit leads, that's our grounding, which is difficult in the 3D world. Anywho, I'm obviously going to have trouble shuffling the cards. So look at this, the World card, unbalanced. So I don't even need to shuffle. Wow, okay. New cycle, the World card. Follow the spiritual path. And look at this. When we follow the path, we become grounded. It's in reversed. I love you guys. I love you, my readers, but my followers, sorry. But I also love Spirit. I love them so much, and I know they are with me, and I can feel them extra strong at the moment with me, despite the fact that I can't shuffle. We can still move forward, but sometimes when we don't follow Spirit's lead, we end up handicapped. And we can't perform the way we're meant to perform. That's the lesson. That's why I cut my finger. I can't even shuffle, but look, I think this is just the way Spirit wants me to do it today. Look at this. Lovers, Moon card, and I don't feel like I'm meant to take this one, but I do feel like I'm meant to take this one. And whatever's crossing this one up here. So I think we put this away. Because I can't shuffle, but you know what? Look at this. Spirit's still delivering a message just by making me break it in half and showing me breaking it in half and just showing me what we're meant to see. I'm sorry, I'm shuffling off the camera. Oh, I can't even hold this. I'm just gonna have to open it. I don't know. Oh, it's come up again. And it's on this side again. That's pretty amazing. So we'll put this here. Oh, I don't even know. Put this here. We can make some space. Here we go. This is the handicapped reading. But it's still the most important way to... It doesn't matter, you know, Spirit. Ooh, I watched a tarot card reader once do a reading, do a divine channel message, and she was told to go out and on camera, she was like, Spirit's telling me to go outside and do a channeled reading on her tomato plants, just by looking at the tomato plants and looking at the signs. And she did it, and it was powerful. It doesn't matter what we use. We can use tarot decks, we can use all this, but it doesn't matter. Spirit will speak to you however he wishes to speak to you, even with a sore bum. So it's frustrating, but you can still get the message across. It doesn't matter. He can do anything, right? And I am still called in to say he. That's comfortable for me. I, for some reason, see God as a masculine energy. Yeah. So here we go. It's exactly what I was saying. We've got our Knight of Cups in reverse. We've got the Knight of Swords coming in to speak very powerfully. I'm not sure if this is two people. We'll clarify that as we go on. It'll become clearer. We've got our Moon card. Now, I often refer to this as the Awakening card. It can also be the Secret, but this is somebody who is awoken. and I'm going to suggest spiritually awoken, and is now currently moving forward. And look at this, into a new cycle where they're being forced to balance up. They can't be unbalanced. They've got to get stronger. This is forcing that strength to occur. And this is happening through a Queen of Swords. I think the Queen of Swords here, even though it's on the side, I actually feel like it's more that this forces this to happen. When the Queen of Swords speaks, you're speaking in a new cycle. We can put it this way. I feel like it was okay. It's not that there's any confusion. I can see actually why it needed to come on the side. It needed to come on the side because if you put it upright, then it's directly speaking to that person and this cycle is behind it. But no, this is about, she's speaking the truth, and that is the new cycle. This is one energy. This is one energy. It's not anywhere else. I even feel like it's almost speaking like to the heavens, you know. She's talking directly to the heavens. It's almost like the high priestess figure is what I'm getting in the back of my mind, is the image. But there is a knight here who is coming in force. There's not slow anymore. The Knight of Cups, who is just slowly looking at his cup of love and looking around. This person, his love, whatever that love is, being tipped upside down. We've got a lover's energy here, and then we've got this Ace of Pentacles, which has come out in reverse. A divinely guided union, an awakening, a Knight of Swords who is, I want to say that is running, but I don't think he's running. It's more like the awakening process is guiding this person to come forward and to remove this energy. I feel like this energy has got to go. I even want to turn that over. It's done. And he's making it clear. I feel like he's almost talking to himself. It's almost like they're the same person, which they are. If you look at them, they are actually, except the robes are a little bit different. So maybe they're different. But this is someone who's like, almost like this is an inner battle. I want to say that the Knight of Swords is our key character here in this particular reading, where they are. This is an inner battle of you can't. This is no more. You can't just sit there and be. The word's melodramatic. No more melodrama. And I feel like this is an inner battle of this person because they have been forced to step out of this pond, like it or lump it. I think that's a very much a part of when we are stagnant, when we stay in the one space, although often we do stay until spirit really sometimes boots us out. Like what happened to me, I booted myself out, but it was like something that I felt so powerfully and strongly that I actually I couldn't have worked, I couldn't have functioned at work properly without, but in the state that I was. And it's taken about 3 days. Yesterday I started to feel better, but even today I can still feel this residual anxiety, and it doesn't all feel just like me. But one of the things that I had to do today, I'm just being called to kind of, a slight tangent. I have had, like I said, I have had to do a lot of clearing of this energy at the moment. I'm talking rapidly. I feel like there's a lot to say, but one of the things like I have put up is I've put up anything yellow, so solar plexus energy. This is the strength. I'm looking at a chakra tablecloth that my beautiful cousin gave me, and I'm going to use that soon as my base here. I'll put it on once I clear my table. There's so much stuff on this table, so it's not a little small task. But I have bergamot incense. I put a diffuser on which had a clearing mind spray, and it also, I used the bergamot oils, essential oils. And I just had to put my face over that and breathe in that steam. And it's about the solar plexus. I'm being drawn to all this yellow. I'm just seeing yellow, 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 solar plexus opening, strength. If we get the strength card, I wouldn't be surprised. But it's all about, I guess, having this inner strength to move forward, to act. And like I said, when Spirit tells us to act, we have to act. So I'm really feeling like, as far as if we're looking at twin flames, I do feel like we have a younger masculine, we have the high priestess, and I'm saying high priestess on purpose, that wasn't a mistake, who has spoken her truth. She's aware of the cycle, she's in conversation with the divine. It's just like having a conversation with you and I. She's in conversation with the divine feminine, and the divine masculine, and the divine masculines at the moment are being forced to awaken. There's a lot of the energy in the air. Oh my God, people, when Spirit says go, you go. And on my website, my WordPress website, I have a website, littleran.org, and it's got a whole heap of channel messages on there. But part of judgment, you know, when I think of judgment, I'm always thinking about the biblical Old Testament stories. The ones that are coming to mind the most are Jonah and the whale. And that story is where God speaks to Jonah to speak to the town of Nineveh, the city of Nineveh, to warn them that they're being sinful, that they're doing the wrong thing. And he is frightened, and he's being told, he gets told several times, go to Nineveh and call and tell and warn them about judgment. And he refuses to go. He says, no. And he tries to run away. He runs from Nineveh. He runs from it. And it reminds me of that divine masculine, where God calls the divine masculine. The divine masculine is so frightened, but they run. They run and run and run. But what happens is that it doesn't matter where you run. The story, Jonah and the whale, is that Jonah runs from his divinely called purpose. And what happens is that he goes to sea, he goes in a boat, and he tries to cross to the other side of the known world by crossing the sea, getting as far away as he possibly can, so he doesn't have to do what God's asking him to do. And what happens is that God sends a storm, and the boat basically nearly capsizes. I'm not even sure, but anyway, he gets swallowed by a whale, and he stays in that whale for 3 days. And he has to, it's like my mind is kind of seeing a womb. It's like being in a womb, where it's like this rebirth moment. For 3 days, he has to stay there, where he is, he's on death's door, really, until all of a sudden he's asking for forgiveness, and he promises to go and do what he needs to do, because now he has, it's either do it or die, Jonah. Really, it's like do it or die. And he gets spat up on land, and he has to go back. And he goes and warns Nineveh. Right now, my brain is just, the whole point is that's the point of the story at the moment. And that is very much in line with what I was saying, even for myself. When God calls us to go and do something, we have to go and do it, and we don't have a choice, and we just have to follow through. We can't see the future. We can't understand why. It doesn't make sense to us, but we have to do it. Otherwise, consequences. And it just isn't as nice a way to do it. It will still happen, because when God speaks, and the world comes to existence from nothing. So being pointed to that again, the World card. But in the long run, you know what? It does us, there's good. And we are often being called to bring justice to very unjust situations, sometimes that we don't see. And, you know, I think that's just really the message. I'm not sure what this is. It's like, you know, when I look at the Ace of Pentacles, you've got the hand of God and it's delivering, it's like a seed, you know, you've got the garden, and often this is looked at in other pictures of the tarot as a seed. And Spirit, the hand of God is handing someone a new beginning. But this is in reverse. And it's next to the Lovers. But there's something about this energy, and I do feel like this is separated. And I am beginning to say hear that this is a Gemini, okay? This is the card of Gemini, and I don't usually try and call out tarot astrological signs, but I have to, I'm starting to avoid. This is a Gemini card. It is the Lovers. It's the divinely guided relationship, where the nature, and I was just shown by my cousin yesterday this amazing depiction of Egyptian religious thing, I don't know, newt or something like that, where there's images of that. I was actually blown away. It really blew my mind, where you have the divine feminine above, and you have the masculine, where the divine feminine is arched over the top and the divine masculine is below, and between them exists life and the world, and everything is like delivered, or it grows between the two of them. And the Lovers card depicts a triangle here. Now, you know, I said I think it was last reading, something about 3 is a crowd. Now, 3 is a crowd with people, absolutely, but not with the divine. And the way the twin, like I'm gonna refer to the twin flames. This is the twin card, okay? Twins is coming to mind, and I can't deny that. I have to say it. So you have the Lovers is depicted as the twins. So that's why it's looked at as the Gemini card as well. And what you have here, and it's very, very different. If you have a look at the Devil card, and I kind of feel like I want to find it, if I can find it. So I'm being drawn to talk about the Devil and the Gemini card, because it looks similar, okay? It looks similar, but on one hand you have, this is supposedly Archangel Michael, but also, like, I'm just going to say it's the divine, the spiritual, the good side, okay? It's like the good side. And the bad side is like the Devil card, which is Capricorn. I've had Capricorns in my life a few times, and I didn't know. It's like, yeah. Actually, energies that I don't mix well with, interestingly. Here we go. So I want to draw your attention to the similarities. Okay. Now you have a very angelic side and you have a very toxic side. This has like a tree that has leaves of fire, but this is something that grows. It's growing, it's abundant, it's good. This still has fire. Do you see how similar they are? They're so similar. But one is devil energy, and the other is divinely positive, good energy. Toxic energy, good energy. You have the grapes, this person's tail. They're chained, they're bound to each other. And if you have a look in both elements here, the masculine is reaching out in a way to the feminine energy. He's actually doing, on one hand, no, actually he's not doing exactly the same thing. It's very, very interesting. If you get a chance to have a look at these cards and you have them on your at home, please go and get a deck. I feel like whoever's going to watch this, you need to go and get a tarot deck for yourself. I really want you to go and do that, because it's important that you start to look. And if you are awakening to spirituality, you need to start understanding the imagery. Honestly, this is one of the most helpful things. It's funny because I went from having no knowledge about this about 3 years ago, and now my brain thinks in tarot. I think of something, I get often biblical images because that was my background, a very heavily Christian religious background. I grew up that way. And suddenly within 3 years, now my brain references this constantly, and they are brilliant analogies, okay, to understand the spirit world. And please, I actually feel like this is really important that you do this, all right? But I'm being drawn to show you the difference is that these are both on fire, okay? But I can guarantee you this is gonna hurt. Now, if you have a look at the masculine energy, this masculine is holding his hands out both ways. This is a very open, this is an invitation. He's still reaching out to the feminine. He's reaching out to the feminine the same way, but you can see this one's got his hand on his hip and he's a little bit like, I'm doing this for it's almost, what's the word? Let me think. Spirit, I need you to give me the word. He's giving me selfish, but it's a bit petulant is the word. It's like, I'm going to offer it to you, but I'm keeping one hand to myself. You know, it's like, I'll make you look like I'm giving you this. And what you can see is that he's not actually looking at her. If you look at this closely, he's looking at his own hand. So he's really just thinking about himself and what he can get, what he can do, and he's gonna, you know, but he's chained to the devil. He's being influenced by toxicity, something that it might look desirable, it might look like it's good, but in the long run, you're gonna be bound and controlled. You're not in control. This is someone who thinks they're in control, but in fact, they're being controlled by an alternate being, okay? You're not in control. You're bound, chained to this post. And in comparison, what you have is two people who are free. They freely stand here with their own source of energy. This energy has to be lit by something else. But this energy here is where this masculine is free and he has his own passions and elements and he's growing his own tree. He's growing it, okay? It's free and he's open. He's like, this is a very vulnerable place to be when you're open and both parties are open. But instead of looking at his own hand, he's looking at the feminine. And the feminine here, let's just compare the feminines now, okay? The feminine here has her hand open to the masculine. She's actually reaching out and he's actually reaching up. So it's more like this, okay? It's more like this, where the feminine is reaching out a little bit higher and the masculine is like, yeah, okay. He's a little bit nervous, but he's okay. He's strong, he's got his own strengths and he's looking openly at her. And she's looking at the divine. Now she's completely open. She's got one hand open to him, and she's got one hand open to the earth. And these are very similar. His hand's a little bit more open, but she's pointing at the ground, but it's like a one hand to spirit, one hand to earth. Now that is a very common theme throughout the tarot. You see it in the Magician, one hand up to heavens, one hand down to earth. There's this symbiotic relationship there. So it's one hand up there and she's looking at the divine. She gets guidance from the divine and he gets guidance from the divine feminine. Now this is where we are exiting a world of patriarchy at the moment. Now that might be very confronting for you if you're a masculine who's watching this. We are leaving the world of patriarchy, and this is that Egyptian information that I received yesterday is depicting exactly this. And it just blew my mind. But what we have here, so let's just keep going with this. You have a feminine energy here who's, I don't even know if she's looking at him. She's almost like in her own world. To me, I don't see her looking at him. I see like she's looking at herself, and she's got both hands pointed, not to him, not to him. It's to herself. It's to the earth, the earth, the earth, the earth. A grapevine over here, which is like alcohol. But she's also bound. They're both bound and chained here, not only to each other, but to the devil. And there's not going to be, this is two selfish people, I'm sorry, but two very selfish people who are looking at what they can get, and he's making like making you an offer, but she's like, yeah, you should make me an offer, but I'm actually not going to give you anything in return. I'm not going to give you anything that you want, because she sees him quite clearly actually, and actually is in her own world. She couldn't care less. She's like, I'll get what I want, how I want it, when I want it, whatever. And he's like, yeah, I'll make you this offer, but I don't really mean it. It's like, whatever. But they're both really selfish people. This here, on the other hand, look at you got darkness, you got light, which is the age-old, imagery and an analogy of good versus evil, all that kind of thing. But like, this is a relief. Like, I just feel like, oh, what a relief. But there's a sense that the divine is not really offering this anymore. I don't know, I'm not really being shown this, and maybe this is something that you can understand. Maybe we'll see it in a minute. Actually, just feel guided to shuffle. So anyway, I want you to really think about these and look at these images and see what they mean and what they mean to you. So enjoy that process of learning about the tarot. So I'm going to move that. I can't even shuffle this. No, I want to shuffle. I can shuffle like this actually. That's better. Not so bad. The wind is at the moment, so we've got this on the east coast of Australia. Yeah, it blew up as I was talking. We've got like a severe storm warnings going on. So I feel like the energy is just outrageous. And it's confusing. Wow. Okay. All right. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, whoever's trying to talk to me at the moment. Okay, here we go. I don't like to read these cards in reverse. This particular tarot deck, it just feels profoundly uncomfortable. So I'm going to read these in the upright. Okay, so some decks call to me to stay in reverse, like these Lenormand. Yeah. Anyway, this deck, I always, when they fall out in reverse, I read them where they land. But for me, this particular deck, I feel very, very called to read kind of not to read reversals. And look who came out, the Emperor. The Emperor. This is the most powerful masculine energy in the entire deck. The Emperor is the culmination of all the kings in the tarot. So of all the elements. He's a very powerful, very strong person who knows what he wants. And look at this. Look at the sun. Look at the sun. This is happiness. Happiest card in the deck. It can also be the most illuminating card. Look at the sun. I wouldn't be surprised if it does. The sun card does come out. We'll see in a minute. But this is a masculine energy who is being fully awakened, I'm telling you. And this has been coming through on all the tarot that I've been watching, is that the masculines have awoken. And maybe this is just a confirmation. So, yeah. Oh my gosh, okay. Ace of Cups. That is the most, this is, let me show you so you can see it a little bit better. My Mankey. This cups are about emotions and overflowing. Look at it, it's overflowing. It's one of the most ornate cups in the deck. I'm not familiar with a lot of Egyptian symbolism, but it is the hand of God that passes you the aces. All right, when you see a hand in the aces, it is the hand of God. This is a feminine hand, mind you, in this particular deck. This deck is very feminine, and I like that a lot. But this is still the divine spirit world, the divine beings, divine God, goddess, who is handing this person a cup of love. And it's like, I feel like I'm yelling it, actually. This is your ultimate love, okay? This is your ultimate love, Emperor. And he's like, okay, I got it. Four of Swords. But I feel like this is the kind of energy I was in with my job just recently. It's my karmic job. It's the karmic thing in my life that I had to shut down, that I didn't realize I had to shut it down. It wasn't fulfilling me. It left me empty. I think it's been causing me to feel depressed for a long time, and I didn't know. I didn't perceive it. But I had to wear a mask of like, yeah, it's okay, I like my job, but I never did. Actually, I never said that I did. But it's a very good, reliable job. But it makes us profoundly unhappy. Look, this person is in profound darkness. This is suffering, all right? Four of Swords is someone who is receiving truth, but the truth of where they are, look, this is trapped, feeling bound, feeling trapped, much like the Devil energy. Unhappiness. Crows are circling. They're also messengers. The sun is out, but it's burning. It's in a desert. There's no growth. This is profound unhappiness. All right? Profound unhappiness. Probably because something about this cup that was offered. I feel like I was like, oh, confusion, which way do I start? But I'm going to start from the bottom. Three of Wands again. Looking at our choices, looking out beyond what was offered, a past offer. Out to sea, that's what I feel like. Out to sea, like Jonah. There's 3 sailing boats and 3 wands and 3 birds, 3 crows again. I'll show you that. In a world of water, this person's wistful, looking back at the sun this time. This is sad. Suffering kind of energy, actually. And we've got this often has come out, but in my other decks, 4 of Discs, which is 4 of Pentacles. Holding on to something and not letting go. But look, this has a butterfly, and butterflies are always transformation. This is actually, I'm going to say, a positive version of this particular Four of Pentacles. Because the Four of Pentacles in the other one is like that small king. It's not even a real king. It's like a small king who is desperately holding on to his earthly possessions. This is someone who's finally looking at what he's been offered, what he was offered, that he rejected, and maybe realized that's the one. This is a more positive. This is holding on to a prized possession. And we have the Princess of Swords. Interesting, like the energy I'm feeling of this actually is not that positive. Okay, so these technically are butterflies. But just gonna hold you so you can see what she looks like. The first thing I saw in my mind's eye was that these were like flies buzzing around this person. And this person's following a path, and she is hell-bent. She's keeping a secret. She's got some information. She's holding secrets, but there's something toxic. There's something rotten. There's something rotten in this person's mind. This person has something up their sleeve and they're going into battle. I feel like a lot of warning. You need to be very careful of this Princess of Swords. You will know who they are. You need to be very careful of a Princess of Swords. Someone who's got rotten thoughts, rotten plans and schemes, and they are coming towards you. That's a warning. There's someone, although I don't think this Emperor's really paying attention, someone's coming. Don't underestimate this person. I feel this is what I'm feeling is the warning is that you have underestimated this person over and over and over again. Over and over and over and over again. And this Princess of Swords, she ain't dumb. She's not stupid. She is not stupid. She's secretive and she's rotten. She's got a rotten mind. And people are buzzing around her too. And there's three's a crowd, rotten. Something's rotten. Rotten in her mind. She's got this scroll here, and she's pretending not to look at it. Pretending not to know. There's knowledge here and she's pretending not to know. But she's holding this sword down and she's going to cut off your head. She's got knowledge. She knows. She knows. Whatever it is that you think is hidden, she knows about it. You need to be careful. You need to be careful. Knowledge, look at this. This is divine. I feel like this is affirming what I'm saying here to a masculine energy. Understand, Eight of Wands is about fast movement. It's about messages. I'm getting message stick. Like that's very Aboriginal actually. Message stick, message stick, message stick. There's 8 messages here. Again, look at the sun. Look at this enlightenment of this masculine. Look at the rays. It comes through the crown chakra. It comes through, the divine messages come through the crown chakra, okay? They come through the mind. Trust your intuition and the messages you are receiving about this Princess of Swords. I want to say, my friend, my love, listen. Oi, listen, don't get cut. The Magician. This is a feminine energy. Again, this is a feminine energy. And previously the Magician has kept coming out, but not in this feminine. And there's something about this feminine energy. I feel like it's both. Just beware, okay? The message that I'm getting here is that, okay, be very careful, because this princess here knows how to be a magician. It's not only just deceit, okay? It's about manifestation. And we can manifest whether we're in toxic energy or positive energy. It doesn't matter. You can still manifest. The outcomes and the judgments that can arise can be very different. Your outcomes will be different. Good things have good outcomes. Toxic things have bad outcomes. I'm going to say that 1,000 times, and until you understand that. The Magician. You need to be the magician. Understand the gift of the message you are receiving. Listen. Oh my God, I just feel like shouting that. I feel like swearing, like I'm hearing it, like you have no idea. Oh my God. Please listen. Please listen. In terms of, this is a battle. There's going to be a huge battle here. And what you need to understand is don't misjudge a princess. I'm getting like shield maiden, Viking. I resonate with Vikings a lot, actually. But what I'm hearing is like, it's that, but what I'm hearing is be very careful, okay? Both parties, it's equal. Okay, that's what I'm hearing, is that there is equal manifestation ability here. So you must not underestimate your opponent, because although she's perceived as a princess, there's secrets and there's rotten things here, okay? You need to be very careful. Yeah. And the Empress. Empress is a match. That's what I said before, isn't it? There's an Empress energy. Interesting how this is coming out. I think in many ways, I don't think this is part of, I think I'm getting two messages here, okay? I'm getting two messages. There is a princess here who you've underestimated, who is rotten to the core. And there was that devil energy that was coming out. However, there's also someone else you've misjudged. And she is your match. Be very careful about who you underestimate. Be very careful. You can get your head cut off two ways here. One way or the other. But this is beautiful energy. She's powerful, man. You've met your match on two sides. You've met your match on two sides here. There's a devil energy who is your match. And there is a positive energy who is your equal. And my advice is you don't underestimate either of them. Prince of Discs. I want to say this is Taurus, masculine energy, but it's like a Taurus energy as well. It's a cow. But this is someone who's looking at their pentacle, who's taking their time, they're thinking about it. The sun is illuminating near the crown of their head, if you can see that, sorry. Okay. But there's abundance, there's growth. This is an option. Where do you place your pentacle? It's your choice. It's your choice. But don't think that that's necessarily a place of empowerment, because there's a decision that you clearly have to make here. And either way, it's funny, I actually do want to put this, I didn't want to, but I do. Here's what you've got. There's a triangle. All three parties possess magician. Okay? All three parties. You got to think about that. You have an empress, you have a princess of swords, and Sir, and I do think I'm talking to a masculine energy. 5 of Swords. Oh my word. Do you see? See it clearly. And look what's here. I'm hearing the truth hurts here. Queen of Swords. A princess cannot go against a queen, okay? The truth is going to explode before your eyes, whether you like it or not. I really want to close down this because, like I said, this is a really long message. A, it's going to take a long time to upload. I'm at an hour already. But OMG is what I want to say. Oh my God. There is a new cycle happening, whether you like it or not. You are still being offered a choice. But one way or the other, Spirit is going to close one thing, one way or another, whether you like it or not. These messages, this is a really serious situation. It's a very serious situation. And I think you've laughed at it, haven't you? It's not funny anymore, is it? Here we go. There's something about this pentacle situation, this beginning. Have faith. That's very positive. On the one hand, I feel like this is a profound warning. And on the other hand, I'm hearing, don't worry. It's always two sides, isn't it? On a lighter note, don't worry about it. But you still need to think things through. Look at that. Choose your friends wisely. Trust your intuition. And I think this is for the Empress as well. And this Gemini. Let's just put that out there. Here we go. This masculine energy. It's time for you to shine. It's time for you to shine. Yeah, look at this. Falling on the Empress. Say no. Choose carefully. See, the thing is, for both parties, when there's equals here, I want you to see that. Can you see what's happening here? Is that even though I've been speaking, I think, very strongly to a masculine energy, this is now for you, for feminines. The feminines is coming through. It's time for the masculine to shine, to live his purpose, to be great, to show himself as great. But the thing is that once they make their decision, then the decision also flips back over here to the feminine to choose. And the thing is, look here, this is back of what I was saying before. Both parties have to be open. They have to be guided. The Empress has to think things through. The Empress is one of the most divinely intuitive people. They are the high priestess. Okay, I still haven't seen that, but it keeps coming up. They look to the divine and they choose according to what they intuitively are guided to do. And they will choose correctly in return. So the masculine has to trust his intuition and he has to choose carefully and think things through really carefully, just as much as the Empress and the feminine does. What's meant for you is meant for you. What isn't meant for you isn't meant for you. And both parties have to really think about what they want. Here we go. The feminine is asked to make a plan. And to have faith. Don't worry. Don't you worry. I was saying that, yet here we are, we got the Five of Swords, there's confusion, there's all this stuff. Yeah, it's stressful, but don't worry. I'm sorry, it sounds so evil when I got this evil laugh. But let me tell you, it's always like this meme, I'm always referring to that push. It's the sign of one of those swinging doors and it says P-U-L-S-H, push. Do you pull the door or do you push the door? The ultimate thing is, it doesn't matter. Because what's meant for you is meant for you. We still have to go through the process. We still have to process it. But oh my God, ultimately, when the divine speaks, the divine speaks. We just have to follow our guidance. And really, in the long run, you don't have to worry. I feel so relieved. I feel so relieved. Oh my gosh. I'm telling you, the energy is wild. And I don't want to do it anymore. I don't want to do it anymore. So tired. Tired. It's time to rest. Really, it's just time to rest. So, it's a big message, guys, and I really hope those of you who are on a twin flame journey, you will understand. And to the divine feminines out there, it's been really hard. I know, it's been really, really hard, and you're tired. And but we're at this point, I think, that the feminines are giving everything over to spirit, saying, I can't do it, you got to do it, I can't do it anymore. You take control. You take control. and they're releasing that need or the fears or whatever it is, and they're trusting the divine completely and just saying, you take care of it. I've done what you asked me to do, and now you can do the rest. And that's what's happening. That is exactly what's happening. And this release is causing the masculines to wake up and to realize you are the light. And this is really hard, okay? Don't fool yourself into thinking that the feminines haven't been through it, because they've been through hell. You don't become the empress, and you can't become the emperor by just crowning yourself. You get crowned by the divine. When you have successfully overcome the battles that have come through, and you come through as a shining light to the rest of the world. You are light. Have courage, because it's really hard. But there are blessings. Have faith. Sometimes we get those removed. We have the offer, and then they get taken away, or we're shown that we're going to get it. We have to keep going. We have to keep going. I just feel like a lot of love. You are so loved. You are so, so loved. And it will be worth it. It's time to shine. Let's not think about that. Just can't help but feeling awakened. Amazing. Anyway, my loves, until next time, and I really hope the energy settles down soon, because it's really hard. I know, I do. And I wish you all the best, all the love in the world. Trust yourself, have faith. Everything comes to a conclusion, and it will settle down. These storms, these earthquakes, the earth-shattering enlightenment that smacks us and breaks us down. We get broken down so that we can be built back up, better and stronger than ever before. I love you. Truly, I love you. And I wish you the best. Take care, my friends. Bye.